I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Lowe's knows to bring your vision to life, it's important to find the right color. That's why MyLowe's Rewards members get a free paint or exterior stain sample to test your look and find the perfect color to confidently refresh your space. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer valid in-store only 6/19 through 6/25. Limit 1 per customer while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See associate for details. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change. Lowe's knows how to set off your July 4th with savings. Right now, buy one, get one free on select one-coat coverage interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Plus, get 2 select 2 or 2.5 quart red, white, and blue annuals for just $10. Hurry, these July 4th deals won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. More terms and restrictions apply. See lowes.com/rebates for more details.
Stop right there. Yeah, you. If you like all things entertainment, current events, or Hollywood, then look no further. Creator to Creators, hosted by director Meosha Bean of Horror Noir, interviews filmmakers and creatives from around the world. Join in on the fun, guest celebrities, and informative information to have as a creator. Hit subscribe and stay connected to Creator to Creators.
A troubled R&B prodigy played by singer-songwriter Anthony Honore and the ghost of a beautiful singer played by newcomer Jordan White join forces to fight a demonic evil that is unleashed when a long-lost demo tape is played. This is Jam of the Damned.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators. Today we have special guest.
Hi, I'm Aaron Mento. How you doing? I'm a writer-director.
What's up, guys? This is your boy Honore here, star of the movie and the composer of the soundtrack.
All right. So I like to open up just a brief introduction of how, for those who are listening, the listeners who don't really know much about what you guys do, give me a little brief introduction of how you got into the business and then kind of, what you're doing now.
Absolutely. Yeah. So real quick, I started out as a screenwriter, and I was kind of waiting for the right time to make my first movie. I was waiting too long though. And what happened was I had a day job, lots of Excel spreadsheets, and my left eye went blind one day. I couldn't see out of it while I was just doing all these spreadsheets. And I was afraid I had brain cancer or something like that. It really freaked me out. I went to a bunch of doctors, and finally we figured I was just an ocular migraine, which is literally a headache in your eye.
Wow.
And I was just putting my eyes through too much stress, but I took that as a sign that I need to get off my ass and make a movie right now. Time is short, don't wait for it. Yeah. So I made my first movie. The only camera I had was an iPad, a really old iPad. And so I shot the whole movie on an iPad.
Wow.
And yeah, it was the first movie ever made on a tablet. So we got a lot of good press from that, but that was really the only camera I had. So jumping off from that, just meeting cool people, and eventually coming across Honore, who worked on my movie Ugly Sweater Party, which is a cult campy holiday horror movie. And so jumping off from that, we're now making this new movie, Jam of the Damned, and we'll jump into that more, but that's just a quick intro for me.
Awesome.
Nice. So yeah, guys, this is Honore. I'm here in Los Angeles. I'm an R&B singer, songwriter, producer, been in the business for some years now, professionally, and just working through the trials of life to create and continue to build my brand with music. But then met up with the amazing Aaron Mento here. And like you said, we worked on his awesome film, Ugly Sweater Party. And it was a really eye-opener into the horror world, which I love, And I basically have been in the music sector, never really delved too much into the acting and all that stuff. But since hooking up with Aaron, it's definitely helped me out to to open my eyes and give me the confidence to kind of go in that gear in that direction in a sense. So, you know, he hit me up during COVID about this idea about this horror movie project. And it just kind of like hit me like, this is where I need to be, you know? So happy to be a part of this project and happy to be here with you, Meosha.
Aw, thank you guys. I mean, I think you guys are awesome. And for those who don't know, so yeah, Jam of the Damned. So tell me a little bit about how this project came about. I love the title. And I just think that I think people are going to really dig it. So tell me a little bit about how this came about.
Sure. Yeah. So, I consider myself kind of like a receiver. So I always am open to new ideas. And I really wanted to do a horror musical. And I was working with a metal band for a little bit on a project, and that project fell through. And it felt like it was good that it fell through because it didn't feel like it was really fitting yet. And I was just sitting there going like, who do I want to collaborate with? And I was like, I want to collaborate with Honore because Honore and I both love Prince. That's how we kind of first bonded. We're both like Prince is just like huge for both of us. So that's kind of like how Prince and horror movies. And so I just reached out and it was like literally I can't remember if I reached out to him or he reached out to me on that day, the same day that I came up with that. Both of our schedules opened up and we opened a line of communication. We were both kind of thinking the same thing. Let's do a project together. And it just kind of stemmed from that. And I usually work intuitively with actors and with creators and collaborators. So I'm inspired by other people. So just talking with actors or other creatives, I can get ideas for what we're going to collaborate on. And so just from that first meeting with Honore, I already had some ideas from the previous project, but as soon as I talked about it with him, I could see it going in a completely different direction, a direction that I liked more, which is more like Purple Rain meets Evil Dead, which is like two of my favorite things. So yeah, that's kind of like how it started. And then of course, we had to have you on here as producer, Meosha, because we've both been wanting to work with you for so long, and the stars finally aligned on a project. So yeah, so that's kind of how it all began.
I think it and thank you so much for having me. Like Aaron, we go back to the group, the writers group,
Yeah.
and just we definitely were I definitely wanted to work with you from the beginning. I was like, I don't know what, but I know that something is gonna come. And I'm glad that
Likewise. Yeah.
this is the beginning of many projects to come. But so Jam of the Damned. Okay, so for those that don't know, like why is this movie important to be made, and why do you think people should watch this film? I'm just curious.
I think it's important because it's, when
Lowe's knows to bring your vision to life, it's important to find the right color. That's why Milo's Rewards members get a free paint or exterior stain sample to test your look and find the perfect color to confidently refresh your space. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer valid in-store only 6/19 through 6/25. Limit 1 per customer while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See associate for details. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
I talked to Honore about this movie, I said, I don't want to make a movie that's just going to go on a streaming platform and get lost in an ocean. I want to make a movie that is people's favorite movie. And something about this concept, I'll be looking through my movie collection, I'll be scrolling through, and I cannot find what I want to watch. And it's because what I want to watch is this movie. This movie, for whatever reason, wants to be made. And I want to see it more than anybody. As a fan of Prince, as a fan of Honore, as a fan of horror, and I'm a huge musical fan. Music has always been kind of central to my movies, and to finally just jump right in to do a musical, the feeling of expressing myself in a medium that I love so much that I haven't had a chance to yet is very important to me, and to do it with people that I care about and that I think are very talented that's why I want to do this. And I think we're going to make something that is going to stand the test of time, something that people are going to want to revisit over and over again. Not something disposable, not something for a quick buck, something that I think people are going to really see themselves in and relate to. And I think they're going to have a fun time with it.
Absolutely. And down to I got to hear some of the soundtrack, the music behind it, the great Honore himself, the man himself here, right here, the composer. Like, I mean, that's a big job. That's a big like shoes to fill. Like when you're talking about Prince and this kind of feel that you're trying to to create for the film, the feel. Like, how did you go into it? Like not trying to, I guess, be Prince, but like to just to make, like to bring that memory into the film. But how do you like and but make it your style, like Honore?
Yeah, I think just kind of immersing myself within the project, reading the script. That was the main thing. It's like, because I'm in the music business, and I've had some songs and different things placed in other projects. So it's just a matter of fitting what their direction is, and having that marriage of the music that works well within that particular scene or whatever. So this was a full-fledged full-length feature film. I'm like, whoa, this is really deep here. And since I'm a student of Prince, I like to create everything from scratch and play everything and write everything and produce. And it's not easy, but when you do something from the heart and it doesn't feel like work or anything, it just flows. And and I, like I said, to piggyback off of Aaron, like we both love Prince. We both love horror movies and Evil Dead. So it's like, whoa, what would this look like? And just as importantly, what would that sound like? So, Jam of the Dam, when he told, because we were kind of going back and forth as far as what the title of the movie could be, and we had different ideas and stuff like that. But when we landed on Jam of the Dam, it was a really cool, because it's like jam is the music aspect.
Yeah.
Dam part is like the lost souls, that are just in this abyss and limbo, and it's like, whoa. So when I was just kind of going into it, I just don't think about it too much. I try my best to feel the pain. I try my best to feel the emotion of the movie and the underlining the storyline and everything, and then it just flows. So we have something very special here, guys. Jam of the Dam. Jam of the Dam.
If you guys like what you hear today on this show and want to get involved in the process of making this movie, Jam of the Dam, come to life, please don't hesitate to reach out to us via email, which is in the description box below of this podcast. Make sure you just share and get the word out, because this film is going to be epic. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the show. Definitely. Aaron, I mean, guys, I'm just so excited for this, because I don't think I've seen anything quite like this. And when I tell people about it, like they're just like, I was actually talking to a writer friend. He saw the poster that I posted. He inboxed me. He goes, "Wow, that looks interesting." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "What? Like, why does it pop to you?" And he's like, it's like kind of where he said it reminds him a little bit of the Miles Morales kind of like
Oh,
style.
sure. Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
wow, I
Yeah.
didn't think of anything like
Yeah.
that. That's
It's definitely
insane.
got a little of that. Yeah.
Wow. And he was like, but it also just you just like, oh, it's like, what is it? Like Jam of the Dam. What could that mean? And he actually he said something about the Queen of the Dam with Aaliyah. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. That's wow. Cause like that's it was that kind of like the sound like I'm obviously you've seen the movie, but
Yeah.
I think that movie, why it did so well too, Queen of the Dam, the soundtrack was so epic. I mean,
Yeah.
the movie, when I watch it, I listen to, and the visuals were amazing, but I think that everything in the sound you just like, wow, like I want to be
Yeah.
in this movie so bad. Like it just had this like
Yeah.
amazing, crazy soundtrack.
Absolutely. Yeah. That was actually a big influence on it for sure. I like Queen of the Dam. I think it's underrated.
It
I
is.
think I haven't read the book. I heard everybody says the book is, so much better. All I can go off was the movie, but the vibe of the movie, I really like. I love the mix of the kind of like goth alternative music and vampires, and then, the queen rising up and the flavor of that. And Aaliyah was so great in that.
Oh,
And
she was.
such a loss, because who knows what she would be doing now. She was so good on camera. She had such a
Okay.
presence. So yeah, so what I love about Queen of the Damned is I love that character, the Queen, how she's able to like her movements and how she's able to
Yes.
manipulate and how she's able to hypnotize. And we have some of that in our main character, Jean Modine, a little bit of a tribute to that. And just to go into the story a little bit, we're going to be introducing a very special actress named Jordan White. She's going to be making her debut in Jam of the Damned. And it's a really interesting part because she has to play basically multiple sides of the same character. She's playing, I guess you would say, a good kind of earthly spirit version of the character, and then she's playing one right from hell. And so she gets to play that duality. So it's going to be a really cool role. And so we're going to see a little bit of that Queen of the Damned in there for sure.
How important was it for you, like as far as like, casting, and then, I mean, obviously you're the writer and you know what you want. And I mean, that part I'm sure is very kind of sometimes can be difficult, but
Sure.
that process of casting, I'm sure, how did that go for you? Was it pretty smooth, would you say?
I don't think it was smooth. It was we had a lot of people audition,
That's
and
awesome.
Mhm.
Jordan just got it. She got how to tell a story through Honore's music, and
Yeah.
she got how to inhabit the character in a way that didn't get in the way of the music. It all just kind of vibed together. And Honore's working with her right now on a song, and
Oh
she's in New
yeah.
York. So,
Mhm.
you know, we found her all the way out in New York, and she blew us away. And I made sure that Honore saw the audition too. I wanted to make sure that he thought, she had the pipes for the music to do his music justice. And he was
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and just piggybacking off of the casting, when Aaron brought this project to me, I was pretty adamant about, as far as like the actress, the co-lead to be Black, a person of color. It was important for me to have that, because this is going to be amazing,
Mm-hmm.
and I just feel like I felt that it was important to continue to keep pushing that, and nothing taken away from any other race or anything like that. But, this was something that was important to me. And I felt like as we're reading the script and reading my character and just trying to see that merger, to have two, a Black male, Black actress, to kind of like really be in this movie and not dying within the first 20 minutes of the movie, but being that it was really important because we have some, actually a lot more horror movies with, Black leads, but, the more the merrier, and just with the storyline and how it mixes with not just R&B music within the soundtrack, but there's rock, so
Yeah.
Aaron pulled me, like, he challenged me, like, look, we need this, and, different edge and stuff like that. And that's where the Prince aspect comes in, because Prince wasn't just one type of genre of music. He was a mixture of funk and R&B and rock and soul and everything. So I did my best to sit in that chair. And so I'm happy that Jordan White is our Gene Modine, and it's going to blow your socks off when the people see it. I just know it.
Ooh, excited.
Mhm.
I love what you said about, so Aaron, and I'm curious, as a writer, director in this industry, how important is diversity to you to bring
Sure. I
this
mean,
kind of
like,
stories?
well, here's the thing. It's like when I grew up in the 90s, all I saw was Black entertainment, and it was what I loved the most. It was I feel like there was like this lost foggy era when Black entertainment was dominant and was everywhere. And it just
Mhm.
kind of like went away, and it's coming back, but it's coming back in a way that feels kind of controlled and kind of restricted.
Mhm.
And I think everybody kind of feels that a little bit. And so I'm like a student of like John Singleton, the Hughes brothers, Ernest Dickerson. I love all that stuff. I mean, like when I grew up watching HBO, all I saw was Black faces, Black filmmakers. Poetic Justice was on every day, and it was like, in Living Color was on every day, and it was just like that was just I didn't really look at it as black or white. It was
Right.
just talent and vibrancy and creativity.
Mhm.
And I just vibe off other people's creativity too. So Honore is a friend of mine. We both like Prince. We're both vibing on this project. We love Purple Rain.
Yeah.
It's like it just makes sense. You know what I mean? To make it diverse, make it colorful, and make it alive.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because like, what you said, Honore, about like just, the leads. I feel like this is so important for, I think, culturally, because it's stuff that, Um, I don't think I've seen this kind of this done with a person of color and as a lead, like this kind of movie. So this is really exciting too, and it's I think it's going to be, I guess, almost like historical in a way because I always see the Hollywood movies where there's a bunch of it's great. I love to see black leads, but it always seems like it's like in a unfortunately like like a sad or slave kind of type of
Sure.
driven movie where it's like now you should care because it's dealing with and something like that or some a
Yeah.
person's a color demise. So it's really good to see this as like a it's different, and I think a lot of people are going to really enjoy that aspect of it.
Yeah, I hope so. I feel the same way. I feel like a lot of the movies out there, they feel like they have some alternative motive that isn't for the audience, that's for
Mm,
something else. That um, it just feels like everything is being kind of held back and kind of, sprinkled out by something that is
yeah.
not, a creative entity. We'll put it that way. There's something else going on behind that. And I like an explosion of just, you know, uncensored attitude. Our movie's gonna be very gory. It's gonna be hard R rating. It's not like it's got to be. It's like we want to like the floodgates out and just really express ourselves.
Yeah.
Everybody. And I'm highly collaborative, so I want everybody to feel like they can bring their best to it, and we can all bring our best work out together without restraints, without worrying like, oh, we might offend this part of the audience, or it won't. It's like I don't want to worry about any of that. Let's just
Yeah,
make something creative.
Oh
absolutely.
yeah.
Can you talk about like just also the people who are also in it, like some who else is in the movie? Some amazing actors are attached to this
Yes,
project, by the way.
yes.
I mean, like, wow.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So one of the coolest and funnest one is Eric Roberts is going to be playing himself, doing a really fun send up of his career and like the myth of Eric Roberts. And I'm a huge Eric Roberts fan. He's one of my favorite actors. So Meosha, you had a good relationship with him and were able to bring him aboard. So I'm eternally grateful for that because wrote him into the script before we knew we could ever get him. But yeah, so that and then my longtime friend and artistic collaborator Charles Trudabala. I've been working with him ever since I did Choose Their Kill for Eli Roth and Crypt TV, all through Ugly Sweater Party, 16 bits. He's in there, and it's just kind of like the crew that I've been like kind of like working with over the years. So Kevin Caliber, who played Wax Waster in 16 bits, Hunter Johnson from Ugly Sweater Party, um, Jody Barton, who worked with Ugly Sweater on me on Ugly Sweater Party. I've been wanting to work with him again forever. Jeremiah, Benjamin, all sorts of great people. And the other really awesome thing is our choreographer is Akira Armstrong, a Pretty Big Movement, who
Yeah.
is an amazing choreographer, amazing person, and she's going to bring such energy and style to the movements, the dancing, because we want this to have that attitude too. We want this to have like, I feel like a lot of musicals now kind of cheese out. It's like
Yeah.
no one's dancing, or maybe they're singing, and it just kind of feels like they're going half measures. And
Yeah.
it's like we want it all. We want to go all in and have like, the singing, the dancing, the gore, the passion, just like it's going to be all over the screen.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, no, you're right. That a lot of musicals now it doesn't really have the dancing. I did see The Color Purple, the remake or the reimagined version. And I really enjoyed it. I think that's what
Yeah.
the element of dance was there. Like they were
Oh,
dancing
good.
and there's like all these extras and you're just like, "Whoa, what's happening? This is amazing." So it was so I think that definitely adds an element for sure to the film. Like it just elevates it for sure.
Yeah. And to give each character their own kind of like moves and their own kind of like style, it's just gonna be great. We're gonna create a whole like world in this movie. It's gonna be cool.
I love that. Oh, so for those that are listening, what's something because there's a lot of listeners that write back and they always say they love the episode, but what they really love is like advice for
Mm.
those that want to try to make a movie or those that want to get into music and all that. Uh, you know, either one can start, but what's some advice for those that want to like get into making their own project or getting to making music?
Why don't you go ahead, Honor? You can take this one first.
Yeah, the thing with that, I really kind of meditated on that because I get asked that a lot. And not the typical, just believe in yourself. I mean, those are a given, we've heard that. And like I said, but I really delve deeper into the advice that I would give to either like a younger artist or and what I came up with is know your value, know that your contributions, whether they're large or mediocre, I feel like they're just as equally important as any of the major people out there. We put our hard work, blood, sweat, and tears in each and every one of these projects, whether it's film, music, acting, or whatever. So my suggestion to any artist out there, creator, is just to know your value. Know that, like, don't measure up to like or compare to someone else. I'm not going to compare my acting skills to Will Smith, because that's his journey. He's great, but I'm great also. And my contributions, whatever I do, they're just as important. It's just different levels, it's different paths, but it all means for the same thing. We are very passionate people. We are creatives. We are motivators and inspirational people that want to continue to throw out these wonderful projects in the universe. So that'll be my suggestion.
That's great.
Oh yeah, man, that's great. Yeah, to echo that, I think the biggest problem now is that, it's tough to be inspired right now. It's tough to find your voice. I think right now there's so much going on in social media and everything like that. And like attention spans are so, quick and short. It's tough to like even find the thing that inspires you truly, that isn't just kind of like disposable. So I'm grateful that I had an advantage growing up without social media so that I could just sit and watch movies like from beginning to end. I would collect VHS tapes. I mean, I would just stay up all night by myself just watching movies. Like I'm going to watch all the Mad Max movies in a row. Let's go. Just by myself, just like watching it, obsessing over the camera moves, going like, wow, look at that choice there. Look at how cool these outfits are. And you had the time to really dig in and just find out what really inspires you, what lights your fire. And so my recommendation would be to put your phone aside, whatever that you're into, whether it be music, movies, art, whatever, dive into that. Get quiet everybody else. This is for you. This is your journey. You can, listen to music. That's fine if that helps you while you're going through stuff, through your pictures and stuff like that. But if you want to be a filmmaker, ask yourself why you want to be a filmmaker. Do you want to be a filmmaker because you want to be at the Academy Awards, or do you want to make a filmmaker because you love a certain kind of movie and you want to make your version of that movie? You want to put your dreams out onto screen and you want everybody to live your dream and to be inspired by your dream, because that's how it works. We're all just, feeding each other dreams. And like, unless you find that spark and you can't think about money, you can't think about, I want to be like Honore is saying, you can't think about emulating someone else. I want to be like that. And that can be scary because, my work is weird. My work is very different. And I don't really fit into a box very well with anything that I do. And sometimes that used to feel like a struggle. Like maybe I should try and be a little bit more mainstream. Maybe I should try and sand off some of those rough edges. Maybe I should just I keep getting told by people, just make like a haunted house movie with the family and like an Insidious, just do one of those. And it's just like, I just can't do it. It's just like, and doesn't mean that I don't like that stuff. It's just the tools that I have won't allow me to do that without losing my soul along the way. So I can't do it. So I have to go lean into my weirdness and the stuff that I like and that buzzes me, And so that's where I'm leaning, and that's where we're going. So luckily we found each other and we can all kind of make dreams happen together.
Absolutely. I love that, guys. That's great advice because I actually was talking to a friend of mine about that, about how like sometimes, you in this career, we're moving, we're doing the things, and then it's like it's sometimes it's slower periods, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh man, should I change my direction and do what, like you said, the mainstream is doing? Should I do comply? And then you're like, No, but then like you said, I like what you said, like it's like selling your soul almost. Like you're not actually being you. So
Mhm.
just being yourself and embracing all of that, all of your sides, no matter what, is just, I think that's absolutely admirable and inspiring for like a lot of people, because I think a lot of people think they have to change themselves in order to be, because people from the outside
Yeah.
looking in, it's like, oh, it's so like, I don't know, they have this
Yeah.
like perception of Hollywood.
Well,
But
yeah, and they're not wrong. You know what I mean? I mean, like a lot of people sell out every day, and a lot of
yeah,
people, some people get rich off that. But it's like, um, what's the use of that? Like you only get one life,
that's
as
it.
far as I know. So, you know, I mean, it would if I was just to write what I think would sell and run after that train and just do that, I might as well be working at a desk job anywhere, because that doesn't
Yeah.
have the same, ignition for me in terms
Mhm.
of wanting to bring something that isn't there already. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Yeah.
Versus just kind of photocopying and being
Yeah.
like, let me try and chase on that one,
Hmm.
So yeah, it's tough. It's not easy, but the other thing I would say is that relationships are everything.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people just try and reach out to like heavy hitters and be like, please green light me, give me my thing. I would recommend make small stuff, find collaborators that you like on small stuff, and then you guys rise together, and
Yeah.
then you build together and you create a team that is dependable and creative. That's the way that I would recommend doing it,
Yeah.
because relationships are just everything, and it takes time though. It's not going to happen instantly,
Yes.
and a lot of people don't want to hear this, but you should probably just make a movie for nothing with your friends. And I know you've heard it before, but you should do that. And don't worry about distribution. Don't worry about, oh, but Netflix, the specs, they say it has to look like, it has to be this camera. Make whatever you want to make with what you have available to you. You don't know who could see that. You don't know what festival might pick that up.
Mhm.
You got a calling card now.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what makes you different. The fact that you shot it on not the highest end camera, the fact that the sound's not great, but maybe the attitude's great, maybe the
Yeah.
energy's great, So don't sell yourself short. Don't say, everybody else can tell you no. Don't ever tell yourself no. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Love
Yeah.
that. Don't, that's, you just took us to church there. I love I,
Dropping
lo-
Preach,
Nice.
brother,
that was
preach.
good. I
Yeah.
love
Yes.
that.
I tell
Yeah.
myself this a lot. So, kind
Yeah.
of get, it's a practice. You
Yeah.
really have to keep it up. I'm sure you both know
Definitely.
that, it's a practice to kind of like be like, you know, get out of that negative space, let's go to work.
Right.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
it's so true, because it's like, and not to harp on this, but like I really look at, and I for those that listening, I can say, when I started, like I have a mentor that I talk to, and I talk to him pretty often. He keeps me on the straight and narrow path. So I love that he can like discipline me from time to time, so I don't get out of like in my head. Um,
sure.
but I think about, like, he always says, like, look at what you came from, how you started to where you are now, and
Mm.
always be grateful for everything that you have, every opportunity. Just
Yeah.
and having that mantra of saying thank you, God, like daily, is a way for when things are slow, or when things are going, you could keep that same attitude. It actually changes a lot of things in your perception and perspective of how we this industry is. Yeah. So
Cool.
100%. Thank you guys for coming on. This was awesome.
Yes.
Where
Oh,
can
thanks
people
for having
find you
us.
on social media, and to reach out to you about this movie, and getting involved?
Yeah, I'm all my socials is just my name. It's just Aaron, at Aaron Mento, AARONMENTO. My production company is Ocular Migraine, named after the eye that got me started. Eye's fine now, by the way. It was just temporary, but
Thank God.
it got me going. Yeah, so just at Aaron Mento.
Awesome.
Nice. And you guys can find me at IG Honore Music, HONORE Music. My official website is honoremusic.com. My current album Purple is out on all streaming platforms. If you're curious about the kind of music that I do, R&B music, check it out. Purple is a really great album. I'm very proud of it. Self-written, self-produced. Um, working on new albums this year, along with this amazing project. Jam of the Damned. You guys don't want to miss it. Visually, musically, spiritually, bloody, Evil Dead, Prince, the vibes, they're all here. We have this amazing team. Trust me, it's the movie you've been wanting to see for the longest, and it'll be out there real soon.
Absolutely. And anybody who's hearing this who might want to get involved in the movie, might know someone who, might help us like get in a location or anything. We're open to everything right now,
Yes.
So we have a pitch deck. We have about 8 or 9 songs fully completed from Honore. We have a sampler mix. We got the poster. We have all sorts of materials. So anybody who wants to get involved at any level, feel free to reach out to Meosha, myself, or Honore.
Yes, please do. And thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time.